Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with mixed numbers when we're adding fractions. So, it's actually pretty simple. All we do is we keep them separate. We say, we're going to do the fractions first, and then we'll come back and we'll do the whole numbers. So, for a second here, we've got 2 3/4 plus 1 1/3, but I'm going to pretend it's just the 3/4 plus the 1/3. If it was 3/4 plus 1/3, the first thing that I would do is I would find my LCD because I can't add 3/4 plus 1/3. So I'm going to make myself a T-chart with fourths and thirds. I'm going to count by fours, I'm going to count by threes until I get the same number on both sides. That will tell me what my LCD is, so what I should change my denominator into. 4, 8, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. I see 12 on both sides. Since I see 12 on both sides, I should change both of these into 12ths. But I can't just scratch in and write in 12. I have to change them using equivalent fractions. So I'm saying 3/4 is the same as is equal to. Sometimes you'll see an arrow there, sometimes you'll see an equal to sign, but it's the same as how many 12ths? Well, I did times 3 on the bottom. So in order to keep them equal, remember the equal sign is like a balance. I can do whatever I want on one side as long as I do the same thing on the other. I did times 3 on the bottom, so I'll do times 3 on the top. That gives me 9/12. I'm going to do the same thing with 1/3. So for 1/3, I'm going to say 1/3. I wanted to change those, or I wanted to make those equal to some amount of 12ths. What did I do on the bottom? Well, I did times 4 on the bottom, times 4 on the bottom. 3 times 4 is 12, so let's try on the top. I must do the same thing. 1 times 4 is 4/12. Now all I've got to do is I've got to go ahead and I've got to add those together. 9/12 plus 4/12, that's going to give me a total of 13/12. 13/12. Does anybody see a problem with that? The problem I see with that is that that's an improper fraction. So I'm going to have to use converting to change this improper fraction into a mixed number. I'm going to do that by doing 13 divided by 12. 13 divided by 12. 13 divided by 12, well 12 fits in there one time. 12 times 1 is 12. We do our subtraction. We have 1 to bring down. This 1 that's left over is going to stay. This is 1 that I wanted to divide by 12. So now 13/12 is the same thing as 1 1/12. Are we done? No, we're not done. We've just done the fractions. 1 1/12 is the fractions, but I still have left over these wholes. 2 plus 1 is 3. So now I've got 1 1/12 plus 3. 1 1/12 plus 3, if I do 1 1/12 plus 3, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the fraction stays the same, 1/12, but the wholes get added together. 3 plus 1 gives us 4. 4 1/12. There's our answer for this top one. I'll walk you through how we got that. So the first thing we did is we said, let's pretend that those whole numbers don't exist for a second. Let's work with just the fractions. 3/4 plus 1/3. We found our LCD, then we found our equivalent fractions and added them together. When we added them together, we found an improper fraction, 13/12. So we had to change that into 1 1/12. Then we said 1 1/12 plus those whole numbers, 3, gives us 4 1/12. Let's look at this next one. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's forget about these whole numbers for a second. Let's worry just about the fractions. 1/4 plus 1/2. Can we add these just the way they are, or no? Do we have to do something to them? We have to do something to them. We can't add them just the way they are because they don't have the same denominator. So I'd like to add 1/4 plus 1/2. but they don't have the same denominator. I'm going to make myself a t-chart to find their LCD. I'm going to count by 4s and 2s, and most of you can just see it right away. You know exactly what it's going to be. But if not, don't worry, you'll get better over time. I see the 4s on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I'm going to change these both into fourths. This one is already in fourths, so it gets to stay as fourths. But this one has to change. What did I do to this 2 to make it into a 4? I want to change this 1/2 into fourths. Well, I did times 2 on the bottom to make it 2 into fourths. I can do whatever I want on one side of the equal sign as long as I do the same thing on the other. So I'm going to do times 2 up here. That gives me 2 fourths. So now I've got 1/4 plus the 2 fourths. That gives me a total of 3 fourths. But I'm not done yet. I still have these whole numbers I have to add together. 4 plus the 2 gives me 6. So my answer is 6 3/4. All right, hopefully that helped, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.